QSD from the Denver Radio Club. Welcome to the Denver Radio Club Net, being held on repeater W0TX. This is a meeting held on the air every Sunday evening at about 8:30 p.m. Good evening. My name is Tim. My call sign is Kilo Zero, Tango Oscar Romeo. I'll be your net control station transmitting from Littleton, Colorado. If there is any emergency or priority traffic during this net, say break at any pause, and the net will be suspended until the emergency or priority traffic is completed. This net is for Denver Radio Club members and all interested radio amateurs who are here to share information concerning any ham-related activities. Regular meetings of the Denver Radio Club are held on the third Wednesday of every month at 7 p.m. And with the COVID-19 restrictions, we use a virtual meeting, and we use the website Google Meets, and you can get the address to get on Google Meets either on our website, or you can receive that from an email if you're listed on our email listing for the club, and it will tell you what the address is to get on Google Meets. Our next meeting will be on April the 21st. An Elmer session is held at 6 p.m. just prior to our monthly meeting, and this session addresses any amateur radio questions that you might have. So whether you're new to amateur radio or interested in some new application of amateur radio, this is a session where you can get help. Also, every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m., except the third Wednesday when our monthly meeting is held, there's a learning net held on 145.490 megahertz and 448.625 megahertz. This is another area where you can find answers for your amateur radio-related questions. As a general interest club, we provide emergency communication for the Salvation Army, City of Wheat Ridge Police Department, City of Lakewood Police Department, West Metro Fire District, and St. Anthony's West Hospital. We're always looking for members who would like to participate in this support. Please contact our club president if you would like to help. Our current president is Jerry Vilhauer, W0GB, and Jerry's telephone number is 303-467-0223. The Denver Radio Club website address is www.w0tx.org. Again, Jerry's telephone number is 303-467-0223. The Denver Radio Club also participates in the ARRL Voluntary Examiner Program. But again, with COVID restrictions, we have to get areas that we have enough space available that we can actually separate those taking tests, and so we don't hold our tests as often as we'd like to. We'll announce those test dates here on this net, and also on our club website, and also we have others that will actually announce other testing that goes on in the area. So if you're looking for a site to do testing, this would be a good place to monitor to find out what's coming up. If you have questions in addition to that, you can contact our VE team lead, Tom Krzyzewski. His call sign is KC2CAG, and his phone number is 720-284-1911. This is the Denver Radio Club Net, W0TX, and this is K0TR serving as net control. Are there any special announcements or bulletins for the net this evening? If so, please call now. For regular check-ins, I'd like to welcome and invite any visiting radio amateurs to check into the Denver Radio Club net this evening. During this net, we disable the requirement for the 100 Hz PL repeater access tone, so you can use either 145.490 megahertz with a minus 600 kilohertz offset, or 448.625 megahertz with a minus 5 megahertz offset. Are they visiting radio amateurs who would like to check into the Denver Radio Club net tonight? If so, please call now. Next, I'd like to welcome and invite any newly licensed or recently upgraded radio amateurs to check in. Please call now. I will now take regular check-ins in groups. Please let me know if you have traffic when you check in, and I'll get back to you. First, radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin in letters A through E, Alpha through Echo. Please call now.
Kilo, Charlie, 0, Echo, Foxtrot, November, Dave and Aurora, no traffic.
N0 ETV, Lance, Aurora, no traffic.
N0 DBS, Dawn, Green Valley Ranch, no traffic.
November 5, Charlie, Mike, Kilo, Greg in Denver, no traffic.
KB0 CHT, Jeff in Lakewood, no traffic.
Alpha Fox, 0, Echo, Alex Broomfield.
KF0 APV, Alpha Papa Victor, Drew, Southeast Aurora.
Delta 6, Delta Oscar Kilo, Rich in Arvada, no traffic. Net Control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. KC0 EFN Dave, N0 ETV Lance, N0 EVS Don, N5 CMK Greg, KB0 CHT Jeff, AF0E Alex, KF0 APV Drew, and WD6 DOK Rich. Make one more call for radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters A through E, Alpha through Echo. Please call now.
10 Delta Papa Romeo, Hall 1 Aurora.
Correction, I believe.
Go ahead, correction.
That was November 0 Delta Bravo Sierra, I believe. I think I heard Echo Bravo Sierra. Dawn, N0 DBS, back to net.
I'm sorry, Donald, will you give me a call sign again?
November 0 Delta Bravo Sierra.
Alrighty, thanks. I got that. I did have it mixed up. I'm sorry. Appreciate the correction. And Net Control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-in. K0DPR Paul. And we'll move on down the alphabet. And radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters F through J, Foxtrot through Juliet. Please call now. W0TV, Jerry, Westminster.
November 0 Golf Tango Golf, Kurt in Denver.
Whiskey 0, India Bravo Alpha, Eric in Hudson, no traffic.
Kilo 6, Hotel Juliet Victor, K6HJV, Tom Arvada, no traffic.
Alpha 0 Juliet Kilo, AA 0 JK Fred in Arvada. Good evening. No traffic.
Net Control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. W0GV Jerry, N0GTG Kurt, W0IBA Eric, K6HJV Tom, and AA0JK Fred. Make one more call for radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters F through J, Foxtrot through Juliet. Please call now. All right, moving down the alphabet. Radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters K through O, Kilo through Oscar. Please call now.
Kilo 0 Kilo Papa Sierra, Kevin Lakewood.
Kilo Echo 0 Oscar Sierra India, Tom Highlands Ranch.
Kilo 0 Mike Kilo Hotel, Keith and Thornton, no traffic.
Kilo 0 Lima Alpha India, K0 LAI, Larry and Lakewood.
Net Control would like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. K0KPS Kevin, K0OSI Tom, K0MKH Keith, and K0LAI Larry. Make one more call for radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters K through O, Kilo through Oscar. Please call now. Move on down the alphabet. Radio amateurs call suffixes begin letters P through T, Papa through Tango. Please call now.
Whiskey Bravo 2, Sierra Hotel Romeo. Stand in Denver, no traffic.
Whiskey 0 Bravo, Kilo Sierra, Barb in Wheatridge.
K0RCW, Robert in Lakewood, no traffic.
M0 Tango Oscar Echo. No traffic.
Kilo Echo 0, Romeo Victor Zulu, John in Lakewood, no traffic.
November 0 Tango Romeo Papa, Jim in Lakewood. Good evening.
Kilo Bravo 9er, Quebec Delta Golf, KB9 QDG, Carl, Lakewood, no traffic.
Net Control would like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. WB2 SHR Stan, W0BKS Barb, K0RCW Robert, and K0TOE, K0TOE. Could I get a name, please? K0TOE, could I get a name, please?
Dick.
All right, thanks, Dick. Next, I had K0RVZ John, N0TRP Jim, and KB9er QDG Carl. Make one more call for radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin in with the letters P through T, Papa through Tango. Please call now.
W0TX Repeater.
Moving down the alphabet, radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters U through Z, uniform through Zulu. Please call now.
KF0UV, Marshall and Glendale.
November 0 X-Ray Romeo X-Ray Mark in Arvada.
Kilo Alpha 0 Victor Bravo Alpha, Curtis in Lakewood, clear.
KE0UIG, Michael D, Edgewater.
Kilo Echo 0 Yankee Kilo Victor, Bill in Lakewood.
Net Control would like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. KF0UV Marshall, N0XRX Mark, K80VBA Curtis, KB0UIG Michael, and KE0YKV Bill. Make one more call for radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters U through Z, uniform through Zulu. Please call now.
WG0N, Dave in Lakewood.
Net Control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-in. WG0N, Dave. Open up the entire alphabet. Radio amateurs call suffixes begin letters A through Z, Alpha through Zulu. Please call now.
KA5 DKS Ken in Arvada.
Net Control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-in. KA5DKS Ken. Be a chance for late check-ins a little later in the net. And at this time, I'd like to invite our club president, Jerry Vilhauer, W0GB, go through and cover club business. Go ahead, Jerry, the net is yours.
All right, Jim, well, thanks for doing the net. Welcome, everybody. Just a couple things. Our 220 repeater is repaired and back in service, so if you can operate 220, well, please give it a try. And the other thing, our meeting announcement for April is out, and on the website there's a mistake on the date. Obviously it's not March 17th, so that'll get fixed soon. Our next meeting will be April 21st, Wednesday, April 21st. And our will be on slot antennas, which ought to be very interesting. It'll be presented by John at W6NBC. John has quite a history in electronics and radio and broadcast and so forth. And one of the things he's going to talk about is HF slot antennas. And I've had limited experience with VHF and UHF slots, very little really, but HF slot antenna, that's going to be an interesting subject. So put that on your calendar for April 21st, and hope to see you all then. I can't think of anything else noteworthy, so back to you, Jim. W0GV.
All right, thanks, Jerry. I don't see anyone indicated they had traffic when they checked in. This is the Denver Radio Club Net, W0TX, and this is K0QR, serving as net control. Does anyone have any other comments, information, or business for the net? If so, please call out.
K7IRC.
K7IRC, go ahead.
I just have a quick question about the 220 repeater. What is the frequency of your 220 repeater? I've asked that before, but don't recall. Sorry about that. K7IRC.
Frequency on the 220 is 224.380 megahertz with a negative offset and 100 hertz PL tone.
Okay, thanks a bunch. I'll give it a try. K7IRC.
are welcome. And do we have anyone else that has any comments, information, or business for the net? Please call now.
I give Fred a call. AA0JK. This is Whiskey Delta 6 Delta Oscar Kilo.
Good evening.
Yeah, Fred, could I give you a landline after the net?
Yes, sir. AA0JK.
Whiskey Delta 6 Delta Oscar Kilo, back to net.
All right. Do we have anyone else that has any comments, information, or business for the net? Please call out. All right. Before I move on, I'd like to wish everybody a happy Easter. Hope everything went well for you today and had a good day to celebrate. Beautiful weather. And let's see, do we have any late check-ins? Please call out. All right, and I'll go through and review next weekend's contests and upcoming Hamfests. Don't have any Hamfests on the calendar at this point, so I'll go through this coming weekend's contest. Let's see, the first one we have here on the list is the QRP ARCI Spring QSO Party. That begins on April the 10th at 0 hours Zulu, goes through April 10th until 0600 hours Zulu. That's at 160 through 10 meters. That's CW contest. Next we have the JIDX CW contest. It starts on April 10th at 0700 hours Zulu, goes through April 11th until 1300 hours Zulu. That's at 160 through 10 meters. That's the CW contest.
W0TX repeater.
Excuse me. Next we got the OKOM DX contest. That begins on April the 10th at 1200 hours Zulu, goes through April 11th until 1200 hours Zulu. That is on 160 through 10 meters. That is a phone contest. And next we have the Ftn Dx Contest. That begins on April 10th at 1200 hours Zulu, goes through April 11th until 1200 hours Zulu. That's on 80 through 10 meters. That's a digital contest. Next we have the IGRY Worldwide RTTY Contest. That begins on April 10th at 1200 hours Zulu, goes through April 11th until 1800 hours Zulu. That's on 80 through 10 meters. That's a digital contest. Next we have the Skcc Weekend Sprintathon. It begins on April 10th at 1200 hours Zulu, goes through April 11th until 2359 hours Zulu. That's on 160 through 6 meters. That's CW. Next we have the Nebraska QSO Party. It begins on April 10th at 1300 hours Zulu, goes through April 11th until 2200 hours Zulu. That's 160 through 70 centimeters. That's a CW and phone contest. Next we have a New Mexico QSO Party. That begins on April 10th at 1400 hours Zulu, goes through April 11th until 0200 hours Zulu. That is on 160 through 2 meters. That's CW phone and digital contest. Next is Georgia QSO Party. That begins on April 10th at 1600 hours Zulu, goes through April 11th until 0400 hours Zulu. That's on 160 through 10 meters. That's the CW and phone contest. And next we have the North Dakota QSO Party. That begins on April 10th at 1800 hours Zulu, goes through April 11th until 1800 hours Zulu. That's on 160 through 2 meters. That's CW and phone contest. Next we have the Yuri Gagarin International DX Contest. begins on April 10th at 2100 hours Zulu, goes through April 11th until 2100 hours Zulu. That's 160 through 10 meters. That's CW contest. Let's see, next we have the WAB worked all bands 80 and 20 meter data modes, and that begins on April 11th, 1200 hours Zulu, goes through April 12th until 1100 hours Zulu. That's on 80 through 10 meters. I'm sorry, that's 80 through 20 meters, and that's a digital contest. Next we have the digital QSO party. It begins on April 11th at 1200 hours Zulu, goes through April 12th until 1100 hours Zulu. That's on 80 through 10 meters. That is CW contest. And next we have the RSGB Rolo contest. Begins on April 11th at 1900 hours Zulu, goes through April 11th until 2030 hours Zulu. That's on 80 meters, and that is a phone contest. Couple reminders. iNoon.net, they meet daily at 12 noon with early check-ins beginning at 11:30. They meet on a frequency of 7.240 megahertz, which is on a 40-meter band. And the Salvation Army Saturnet, they meet at 1500 hours Zulu. That's 9 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time. And they meet Monday through Saturday on a frequency of 14.265 megahertz, which is on the 20-meter band. The Denver Radio Club maintains the following repeaters for use by all radio amateurs: a 147.330 megahertz with a positive offset, a 145.490 megahertz with a negative offset, a 224.380 megahertz with a negative offset, a 449.350 megahertz with a negative offset, a 448.625 megahertz with a negative offset, a 447.825 megahertz with a negative offset. Our digital turbo repeater operating on Brandmeister on 446.7875 megahertz with a negative offset, and our C4 FM digital repeater on 449.775 megahertz with a negative offset. The 447.825 megahertz repeater is configured for narrowband FM, and that requires a digital coded squelch of 073. There are two repeaters on 147.330 megahertz. The repeater in Lakewood requires a 100 hertz PL tone, and the second repeater located east near Franktown requires a 131.8 hertz PL tone. We have a second repeater on the same frequency out east to improve coverage along the Front Range and into the canyons. However, having two repeaters on the same frequency that has two different frequency propagations, we ask that you monitor the frequency to assure neither is in use prior to making your call. The 449.350 megahertz repeater provides wide area coverage, and this repeater hosts our Echolink station W0TX node number 4140. And the 448.625 megahertz repeater is linked with the 145.490 megahertz repeater. The repeater on 449.775 is now a C4 FM digital only repeater, and each repeater requires a 100 hertz PL tone for activation except as noted, and each uses standard offsets. And for packet, we have the 145.050 megahertz gateway on 2 meters that is interconnected with the 14.105 megahertz gateway on 20 meters for packet QSO. And we have a 6-meter repeater on 53.09 megahertz with an input on 52.09 megahertz with a required 107.2 hertz PL tone. Your support of the Denver Radio Club is greatly appreciated. If you'd like to participate in any of the many club activities, please contact our club president, Jerry Vilhauer, W0GV. I'd like to thank everyone for checking into the Denver Radio Club Net tonight. Your support is greatly appreciated. I hope you all have a great week. 7-3, and tonight we had a total of 34 check-ins, and the Denver Radio Club Net, W0TX Net, is now closed at 9:05, and repeater is available for regular use. This is K02R Net Control Station. And please stand by a moment while I return the PL tone to the repeater.
PL on.
And this is K02R. I'll be clear. Good evening to all.